My name is Bill Ritchie, and this is the certificate of authenticity for the mini Halfwood press I made for Brent Leonard in Oklahoma. In a few minutes I'm going to show you what's in the box that comes with the mini Halfwood press. It comes with a little journal, kind of a baby book, you might say, of the birth of the press and what kind of woods I used in it, and a story about the making of Halfwood presses. It comes with a test plate that I etched particularly or especially for this press and for this demonstration, which you're going to see in a few minutes. Later this plate will be mounted on a card. The press comes with a new set of felt blankets, 2 felt blankets, sizing catcher, and a roller blanket. This is the card I mentioned a second ago, where I'll be mounting the printing plate when it's all cleaned up. It comes with an Allen wrench for tightening the hub on the wheel. There are 2 set screws that hold the hub onto the shaft of the press, and this Allen wrench is for making sure that those set screws are always tight. I made a book marker. There's a new plate, call it a test plate for the owner, the little story inside about the 22 gauge plates that I recommend for the mini Halfwood press. And there's a user's manual. And I like to toss in a couple of postcards for the new 2011 series. The box is handmade. I make the box myself and stamp the images on the outside. And on the back, I've written a kind of story, a background story for the myth, the legend that I wrote about the design of the Halfwood press. And when I get finished with my printing today, I'll put an example of the proof that I pulled and the card mounted on the press back into the box. So the owner gets the plate and they get the proof of the plate, and I keep one for myself. There are roller rulers on both the passive side and the active side of the press, the wheel side. And by referring to the block and where it lands on these marks, you can get a general idea as to what your pressure settings should be. The press bed is polycarbonate, a very hard type of plastic. And on each end, I have safety stops, little buttons on the underside of the bed, so that when it comes to the roller, it'll stop. However, if the rollers are up very high, it obviates those safety stops and won't work if the bed can tilt out and get past that roller. So when you're printing thicker plates, you want to be careful that you don't go too far, have the bed fall out. No harm, it's unbreakable, but a little bit distracting. There are 2 set screws on the mini Halfwood press on the hub. There's one here and one here. And the shaft itself has been dimpled, and there was a little flat spot under one of the set screws. You use a brand new sharp-edged Allen wrench, hard steel. Put it in, make sure it's seated all the way down, and tighten. When we ship a mini Halfwood presser, we always make sure that the set screws are tightened. This is a hard stainless steel set screw, and it will bite into the shaft, leave a little cup that will cup into the press, cut into the press, and hold it tight. But over time, it's a good idea to check make sure that those set screws are tight. Otherwise, this could slip, and that's not good. Is it rolling?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. I'm Bill Ritchie, and today we're going to test Mini Halfwood Press number 83. This one's going to Brett Learned in Oklahoma. I've already printed one print before we started this video, and I'm going to print the second proof. And to do that, I'm going to get ready by setting the pressure. In discussing the contents of the box, I didn't mention that Brent will get the DVD that you're watching right now, which also has some 1-minute printmaker lessons and some samples of videotapes. Now, setting the pressure, these are the pressure screws. This is the top roller, and we lower it by pressing the pressure screws all the way down until they touch the bed. And then, because I have to put the felt blankets under the roller, I need to raise it back up. I count my turns. I count about 10 half turns. And that gives me enough room to get the blankets, the felt blankets, under the top roller. The blankets, there are two of them. One's a sizing catcher, and one is a roller blanket. The sizing catcher goes next to the paper, and the roller blanket goes next to the roller. Now that gave me enough room to get the blankets, the felt blankets, under the bed. And then I tightened it back down. And because I've been printing for years, I do it pretty much by feel. But I have roller rulers on the side. And by referring to the block and where it lands on these marks, you can get a general idea as to what your pressure settings should be. That's how I set the pressure for the press. Now I will ink up for the second proof and wipe the plate and get it ready, and we'll print the second proof, and that will complete the test. I use a 22 gauge copper plate on my Mini Halfwood press. That's what I recommend. They will take 18 gauge and 16 gauge plates, but 22 is ideal. As I said, I've already printed this plate, so I'll start by putting on additional ink. It works a lot better if the plate is warm, and I have a little hot plate here. Oil-based inks always get softer when they're warmed up, but we don't get them too hot. When I filled all the textures and lines, I start with the tarlatan. That's about enough with the tarlatan wipe, so I can switch to the paper wipe. Put my plate on this gripper pad and use a page out of a telephone book. Bring the image up even more. Now, the hand wipe. Then, clean around the edges, and I'm ready to print. Underneath my ink slab, I have a sandwich bag with a piece of arched cover that I soaked before this video started for about an hour. Then I blotted that paper and put it in the sandwich bag until I'm ready for it. I'll warm the plate once more. Soften the ink. For the convenience of the video, I'll turn the press around. Then the last thing is the moment member, the moment the print was printed. This is trial proof number 2. It looks a lot like the first trial proof. That completes the test. Thanks for watching. I'm Bill Ritchie.